Okay, so first off, when it comes to contouring, you want to make sure that you have a really good base for your foundation. I'm going to be using powder contour today. If you would like a cream contour tutorial, then go ahead and ask and I'll do that. But first off, we're going to apply our foundation, as always. I mean, I'm not going to really show you this too much because everyone, you know, does the foundation differently, but I will say you need to have a good base, which means moisturise and also prime. I'm going to be using 3 things today. First off is my Vichy Aqualia Thermal Moisturiser, and I put a bit of that on my face. Then after I've moisturised, I'm going to be going in with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This is just going to make sure that I have a really sort of smooth base for my foundation, and it's going to make the contour look very natural. Then I'm just going to be going in with my MAC Prep+Prime Fix Spray, and this is just going to set in all that primer, and it's going to hydrate our skin a little bit more and just give it that lovely dewy natural appearance. Now we don't want our foundation to look too cakey because we're going to be applying like a load of other products to contour and things. You want to use a very sheer lightweight foundation. So I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Paris Sheer Match Foundation just because it's my more liquid foundation that I have. My other one is the MAC Studio Sculpt Foundation, which is very thick and it's full coverage. So I'm going to go with the sheer coverage, and after you've done this, fill in any blemishes that you have. Ignore underneath your eyes because we're going to be using that with a highlight, but say you have any spots, just conceal them as you normally would. And because this is such a lightweight foundation, I don't want it to be soaked up by any brushes or like a beauty blender. I'm going to be rubbing all this in with my clean fingertip. As you can see, it's a very sheer coverage of foundation. You can hardly sort of tell that I've got any on, which is what we're going for because we don't want to layer up way too many products on our face, otherwise we're just going to look really cakey and not natural at all. Okay, now first I'm going to highlight, and this necessarily isn't a powder one, but I like to use concealer as my highlight just because I've got one that's super light and it does really work as a highlight, like really well. So I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition one, and I've literally just got the lightest one in Porcelain, and because I'm quite pale naturally, like I wanted something a little bit lighter so it could act as my highlighter, but we're also going to be going in with an illuminizer afterwards. So at first I'm just going to apply upside down triangles underneath my eyes and going up to my cheekbone. Just going to be applying it down my nose. And also on my forehead. My Cupid's bow. Just going to highlight around my nose and on my chin. Now I'm just going to blend all this highlight in before I add my bronzer, so I'm going to be using my beauty blender for this. Don't worry if it's a little bit messy like on my forehead at the moment. Once we've blended it in with like the bronzer and things, it will look so much more natural. So that is the highlight done. As you can see, it's much more lighter than my natural skin tone. Because I am super pale, it's pretty hard to sort of demonstrate. If I like got tanned, then this tutorial would be so much easier because you'd actually be able to see where I'm highlighting, but when I'm so pale it looks kind of the same. But that is my highlight. So now I'm going to be going in with my bronzer, and I'm going to be using the Rimmel London bronzer, and this is in the shade Sun Bronze. And I'm going to be using my Real Techniques contour brush and just applying that to my cheekbones, on my eyelids, as well as down my nose and on my temples and on my chin. And I'm not really worried if this is super harsh at the moment, because I will be buffing this out. Now to get a little bit more definition down my nose, I'm going to be using this is the base shadow brush from the Real Techniques eyeshadow sort of brush selection, but because it's so small and so sort of fluffy, it will give us the really nice definition that we need. I'm also going to be applying it in my crease and just going out to my temple bit. I'm just also going to be applying it to the edge of my chin. And then grabbing my contour brush again, I'm going to be putting it underneath my jawline. Now I'm just going to be grabbing the LA Girl Pro Concealer again and just highlighting underneath this harsh line we've got here. So as you can see, that's made sort of our cheekbones look way more defined, and now we're going to go ahead and blend. Now, because I'm using sort of a mixture of creams with my concealer and powder, I'm going to be using actually a powder brush, which you probably wouldn't guess I'd sort of be using, but because it's so sort of fluffy, it's just going to really sort of buff it in. And if I did have the Real Techniques buffer brush, I'd totally use that. So pretty much any sort of big flat brush would do perfectly. When it's all blended out. As you can see, because I'm so pale, I don't use too much because I'm going to look absolutely stupid if I use any more. But you can see we have very natural, sort of sharp defined cheekbone. It's made my face look slightly slimmer. I am going to be going in with a little bit more of the bronzing powder just to really sort of redefine some more areas around here, and this is honestly like personal taste. Once you've got like the real sort of buffing technique down and know how to blend it really well, then you can apply sort of as much as you want and you'll be able to sort of like work it out. Contour is definitely something that you've got to sort of learn gradually. It's nothing you can pick up overnight, so don't worry if you end up looking like you spent like 4 hours at the beach and didn't get burnt. Like, don't worry about it. Okay, so as you can see, this is done, and now we haven't set our highlights, so I'm going to be going in with a little bit of loose translucent powder, and this is from number 7. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of my face just so you can see how this sort of look comes about once I'm done. So I have filled in my brows. I've put some very simple shadows on. All I have done is put my Blackberry from MAC, which is a lovely sort of purpley taupe colour, and then I've also gone in with Filament to highlight and just taken it underneath my lash line and just put on some mascara. That's the Lash Domination one by Bare Minerals, and then just filled in my brows as usual. And then I've just got Faux from MAC on my lips, and yeah, this is a very, very natural looking contour. If you want to keep it like this, that's absolutely fine, but if you wanted a little bit more shimmer and your highlight to be a little bit more emphasised, then definitely going with an luminizer powder or a highlight powder. And I'm going to be using the Glow All Out by Soap and Glory. Now this has a very, very pink undertone, so I'm being careful not to put it too high because it will look like I've sort of got blush up there, so I'm going to be applying it here, which will give the effect of a highlight as well as like a blush undertone. You can see it's very sort of light peachy colour, so I'm being careful not to use too much. So that is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment down below if you want me to do a cream contour kit. I'm looking into the Anastasia Beverly Hills cream contour kit, and so if I get that, then I could do a cream contour on you. Up to you guys. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!